AnnyeongBuzz. Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the most exciting and talked about stories in the K-pop world and beyond. You already know the deal. We don't just deliver the news here, we break it down, question it, and celebrate it together. So get comfy, because today's story is one that's got fans talking everywhere. And honestly, it deserves every bit of the attention it's getting. So, guess who's back? That's right. BLACKPINK's Jisoo has returned with a brand new single titled Eyes Closed. The song dropped on the 10th, and it marks her first release in 8 months since her solo debut album Amortage. Now, that album was already a massive success. It showcased a side of Jisoo that felt elegant, refined, and emotionally rich. But this time, she's taken it up a notch. Eyes Closed isn't just another comeback, it's a collaboration that's got the whole internet buzzing. Because for the first time ever, Jisoo is teaming up with Zayn. Yes, that Zayn from One Direction. And this might just be one of the most unexpected but genius pairings we've seen in a while. When you think about it, both of them share this kind of mysterious, emotional vibe. Their voices have this raw, haunting quality that just pulls you in. So when I heard about this collab, I was like, okay, this could either be something really experimental or absolutely stunning. And honestly, it turned out to be both. The song Eyes Closed gives a completely different energy compared to Jisoo's past work. It's moodier, more intimate, and it really leans into her signature husky tone. Something fans have always loved about her. Her voice just melts into Zayn's smooth, soulful tone in a way that feels effortless. It's emotional, it's deep, and it's got that cinematic quality that makes you want to close your eyes and just feel the music. What's really fascinating here is how this collab symbolizes a kind of crossover moment between two global icons. Zayn's roots are in Western pop and Jisoo's in K-pop. But together, they've created something that feels genreless. And that's what makes this so special. It's not just a feature for the sake of international exposure. It's a real musical synergy. You can tell both of them brought their personalities to the track. Zayn's soulful melancholy mixed with Jisoo's elegant restraint, and it's just magic. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Jisoo's voice pairs well with Zayn's style? Because personally, I was surprised by how natural it sounded. Usually, collaborations between K-pop and Western artists can sometimes feel a bit forced, like the styles don't quite match up, but this one feels like it was meant to happen. And the lyrics? They hit hard. There's this theme of vulnerability, of loving someone so deeply that even when you close your eyes, that person is still there in your mind. It's bittersweet, and it suits both Jisoo and Zayn's vocal color so perfectly. It's emotional without being overly dramatic, subtle, but powerful. The music video for Eyes Closed is also scheduled to drop at 1 p.m. today, and I can only imagine what it's gonna look like. If it's anything like the song, we're in for some stunning visuals. Knowing Jisoo, it'll probably blend elegance and emotion, maybe a story about memory, loss, or holding on to something beautiful even when it's gone. She's really good at storytelling through visuals, so I'm expecting something cinematic and artistic. And speaking of storytelling, let's talk about how busy Jisoo's been this year. She's not just releasing music, she's been absolutely everywhere. Remember, she was actively promoting with BLACKPINK earlier this year for the Amortage album, and their song Jump stayed on Billboard's Hot 100 for 10 consecutive weeks. 10 weeks! That's not easy for a K-pop act, especially with so much competition in global music right now. Then there's the Deadline World Tour, still ongoing, which proves that BLACKPINK's influence isn't slowing down anytime soon. And on top of all that, Jisoo's been showing her acting range too. She starred in the drama Newtopia and appeared in the film Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Like, how does she do it all? Music, acting, fashion, global events. She's really building this well-rounded career that goes far beyond the typical idol path. I think that's what makes this comeback even more interesting. Eyes Closed feels like Jisoo stepping further into her identity as a solo artist. She's not just BLACKPINK's visual or singer anymore, she's an artist with her own sound and emotional depth. You can sense her confidence growing with each release, and I feel like this song really cements her place as someone who can stand on her own. even outside the BLACKPINK brand. And it also makes me think, is this collaboration with Zayn a sign of something bigger? Like, are we going to see more crossovers like this in the future? Because if Jisoo's working with Western artists at this level, it shows that her solo career is being taken seriously on a global scale. Maybe this is a step toward an English language album, or even more collaborations that bridge cultures and genres. But here's something I want to ask you guys. Do you think Jisoo shines more as a soloist or as part of BLACKPINK? I know that's a tough question because the group is iconic, but watching her grow into her own sound has been such a rewarding experience. She's got this understated power that doesn't need to scream for attention. It just draws you in. And honestly, this era feels like Jisoo finally owning her voice, literally and figuratively. The way she carries herself, the music she's choosing, even her visuals. It's giving mature, confident, and authentic. It's less about chasing trends and more about expressing who she really is. I also think it's smart timing. With BLACKPINK members exploring their individual paths, Lisa with her solo stages, Jennie with her new label, and Rosé collaborating on global projects, Jisoo's solo journey adds another layer to the group's legacy. It's not just about separating, it's about expanding their influence. So to wrap up this first story, Jisoo's Eyes Closed isn't just another single. It's a statement, a collaboration that bridges worlds, a song that reveals new depth in her artistry, and a moment that reminds us why she continues to be one of K-pop's most captivating performers. But we're not done yet, because the next story we're talking about is just as exciting. And it involves another artist who's taking the K-pop world by storm right now. Now let's talk about something that's been making waves both in K-pop and the global music scene. 17's The 8, Mingyu, and Vernon teaming up for a remix collaboration that no one saw coming. This is the kind of creative crossover that reminds you why 17 continues to stand out in the industry. These guys aren't afraid to experiment, and this latest project proves exactly that. So here's what happened. Pledis Entertainment announced that The 8, Mingyu, and Vernon just dropped a remix called Illegal plus 17, released at 8 a.m. today. And this isn't just any remix. It's a reinterpretation of British singer-songwriter PinkPantheress's hit track Illegal. You know, the one that's been all over TikTok and Spotify since May, blending drum and bass with dreamy vocals. Well, now imagine that sound fused with 17's signature flair. That's what this remix delivers. This remix actually samples Underworld's Dark and Long, Dark Train, and adds those pulsing drum and bass layers that PinkPantheress is known for. But with 17's touch, it transforms into something completely fresh, darker, faster, but somehow still smooth and hypnotic. It's the kind of track that instantly pulls you in, especially if you love experimental electronic music mixed with that polished K-pop production. And let's be real, this isn't just a small project. Illegal has already gone viral worldwide. It entered Billboard's Hot 100 and hit over 100 million streams on Spotify. So 17 joining the Fancy Some More album project alongside artists like Anita and Jade is a big deal. It places them right in the middle of an international collaboration lineup that highlights their global influence. What's really cool about this is that it doesn't feel forced. The 8, Mingyu, and Vernon have always been drawn to this kind of genre, something edgy, experimental, and atmospheric. You can tell from their interviews that they genuinely enjoyed working on it. They said it was fun because it's a style they personally like, and that the project gave them a chance to show a new side of themselves musically. And that's something fans have been wanting, to see these three explore their individuality outside the typical 17 group structure. Vernon's deep tone and cool rap delivery fit this genre perfectly. Mingyu's smooth rhythm control adds that modern pop appeal, and the 8's artistic, almost otherworldly presence gives the track its edge. Together, they make this remix feel alive, not just like a simple feature. And I think that's what makes it so refreshing. They also mentioned in the press statement that if you focus on the rhythm while listening, you'll really experience the full charm of Illegal 17. And honestly, they're right. I gave it a listen earlier, and it's one of those songs where you start unconsciously nodding your head because the beat just carries you. It's hypnotic, rhythmic, and sleek, Very different from the usual upbeat 17 style, but that's exactly why it works. Now here's something to think about. 17 as a group has always been known for self-production, right? They write, compose, choreograph, and basically control their entire creative output. So when members like The 8, Mingyu, and Vernon step into international projects like this, it's not just collaboration for exposure, it's collaboration for artistry. It's about expanding their sound, learning from global artists, and showing that K-pop doesn't have to stay in one lane. I think this also says a lot about where 17 is headed musically. We're seeing them take more creative risks and push boundaries. They've already proven they can dominate the charts with songs like Super and Hot, but now they're exploring this alternative, almost underground sound, and I love that. It shows that they're not just chasing hits, they're exploring art. And speaking of global moves, 17's about to hit the road again. Their world tour kicks off in North America, starting with the Tacoma Dome in the US on the 12th. This tour is going to be massive. If you've ever seen 17 live, you know their concerts are on another level. High energy, flawless choreography, and a connection with fans that's genuinely powerful. I'm really curious to see if they'll perform this remix live, maybe as part of a special stage or a solo unit segment. Because honestly, hearing that drum and bass drop in a stadium, that would be insane. But what I find most exciting about this whole thing is how it reflects K-pop's evolution in real time. Collaborations like this one blur the line between K-pop and Western pop. It's no longer about K-pop meeting the West. It's just music, period. Artists are coming together from different corners of the world to create something unique. And 17 being part of that is such a flex. It's proof that K-pop idols today aren't just performers. They're global musicians shaping modern pop culture. So here's what I want to ask you. What do you think about this kind of collaboration? Do you like seeing 17 experiment with these alternative sounds? Or do you prefer their classic upbeat energy? Personally, I think this is exactly the kind of risk that keeps them exciting. They're not afraid to grow, and that's why they've lasted this long at the top. And on that note, as we wrap up today's video, from Jisoo's emotional and cinematic return with Eyes Closed to 17's bold and experimental remix, Illegal plus 17, one thing's clear. K-pop continues to expand its universe, and these artists are leading that evolution. They're proving that Korean pop music isn't just a genre. It's a global movement that adapts, reinvents, and continues to inspire. All right, Buzz fam, I want to hear from you. Between Jisoo's soulful collab with Zayn and 17's edgy reinterpretation with PinkPantheress, which release do you think will dominate your playlist this week? Or maybe both? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's start the discussion. I'll be reading your takes. As always, thanks for watching and being part of the Buzz community. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's buzzing next in the world of K-pop. Until next time, this is AnnyeongBuzz, signing off.